But yeah, I think we are live. Let's like as usual, like every live how it goes. We'll wait for some time for people to join, or just to check if there is any technical glitch or are we even live. I'm just looking at my phone on YouTube to see if we are live. Uh,
Okay. I,
yeah.
oh
Uh,
man, it's nerve-wracking. I've done a few lives, and for some reason, I my luck with restream and live is just terrible. It's always gone badly. So I hope yours is not the same.
okay. I mean, fortunately, it never happened till now. But let's see.
Good.
Hopefully not this time because I still don't see our live. Yeah, I think we are live. I can see our video. Uh,
Awesome.
Great. I've been just telling Soundarya for people who are watching. It feels little nervous because Soundarya is my senior from Colombia, and I've been following Soundarya's work for quite some time. Um, I know Soundarya enough to know that people call you Pooja. Uh, yeah. So been following you for quite some time, and from your first book actually. So
Oh my God.
super honored to have you to share a screen. I never imagined that would happen because I still remember the first time you replied to my message. I felt like, oh, I got a message from Soundarya. I got a reply from Soundarya. I was like,
That's so
uh,
sweet. I mean, I
yeah.
no, that's very thank you, first of all. And I'm definitely going to be writing an evaluation report after this and sending it to your supervisor. So
Yep. And
you better do
it's
this right.
better. It's better if you have any Trust Pilot link or something. That's better.
Yeah,
I
Yelp
can
it,
write a
right? I'm
review.
going to go Yelp after
Yep. Yep.
this.
Yep. So, but yeah, let me set the agenda how this is gonna go. So this is like the fourth episode that we are doing with the reality show. Uh, Technically, I wanted to do this as a first, but we for some personal reasons we have to reschedule it. But I'm happy we are doing here. So reality show. The reason that we started doing this is I work in AI. I'm the geeky guy who's pro AI. I'm pretty sure it's gonna replace all the jobs. Being working in AI, I shouldn't say this, but I feel like it's getting there. But I also believe there are few things that AI can't blur. Like there are few real things that could happen. So this show is to just to understand the real conversations that people are having, like the real thoughts, real opinions, and also to understand how AI is shaping the world today. Not much focusing on AI, but understanding on the real stuff and also understanding how AI fits in there. That's why the term reality show. And I'm the founder of my real product as well. So the real also came from there. So I tell this everywhere. Like you can't uh, write reality show without AI. You can't write Hari without AI as well. So like kind of like uh,
Oh my
uh,
God.
is that cheesy? I've been saying
I
this for
love
the
it.
third time.
It's good. I mean, no, you should actually, that should be a tagline on LinkedIn. You can't spell AI without hurry. Wait, no. You can't spell hurry without AI. Right.
Yep. So enough about me, but going to the agenda, we're gonna start with an intro to understand what you do. Most probably people are gonna know what you do, but still I want to hear how you're gonna introduce yourself, and then we'll go to the. It's gonna have three chapters: past, present, and future. To understand your past and also the past of how people used to write stuff like personal branding or writing online, everything, and how they shaped their career in the past and what's happening today and what's happening in the future. Personally, as well, when I say personally, like your professional life as well as how the industry is shaping. And finally, we'll go to the final section of Q&A. I have a lot of Q&A, but if people have any Q&A, I'll ask those questions to you as well. So as per the agenda, we'll start with the intro. Um, I already gave the intro from my angle, but I want an intro from yourself. Like, how do you introduce yourself, and how do you convince people who want to watch this for next 60 minutes that it's worth their time to watch this conversation?
Hmm. Oh my God. Okay, I didn't know I'm gonna have to convince people now, but this is great. Um, you're also catching me on an especially very confident day. Today, I just woke up feeling invincible. I was like, I can do anything today. So,
Oh,
great day to do a
nice,
podcast, I think.
nice.
Okay, intro. I have done many things in the last 10 years. My resume would confuse anyone out there when they see it. And I think some people will see the resume and think, what the hell is going on in this woman's life? But I've decided to look at weaknesses as strengths lately. So um, I think I can condense what I've done in the last 10 years into this sentence of I've always been an experimenter, avid experimenter when it came to my professional life. Um,
Hmm.
I realized early on that I'm not the kind of person who is going to stick to one field and do that for the rest of her life. I had seen my dad do it. He's been a bank manager his whole life, and I've seen many other people do that. I respect people who do that. I just realized I'm not that kind of a person. So, um, I have published 2 books so far, self published 2 books. I'm finishing my third, which is my first novel. It's a new genre for me, a very challenging project. I used to run a community for high skilled immigrants in the past. I have hosted pretty large scale events, all the way from 100 people to 1,000 plus people. A summit last year, which I know you couldn't come to, but it was an amazing 2 days.
Yep. I
And
still
I
have the
also used
FOMO from that.
oh, it's okay. Come for the next book launch.
Yep, sure.
Um,
If I have
and
the
I also
US
used to
visa.
be I used
Yeah.
to be a product manager at Salesforce several years ago. So that's kind of a short version of a 8 year journey.
Yep. And also, I think a recent news, you got 10K on YouTube, the second channel, right?
Oh my gosh. Yes. It's been
Yep.
blowing my mind. I mean, I grew to 0 to 10 subscribers after several weeks of posting. And then in the last 2 weeks it grew from 10 to 10,000. And it's interesting, right? Like yeah, I have a lot of thoughts around what does that look like growth on social media. How does it feel on the receiving end of it? We can talk about that. But you asked me a question. Why should people listen for the next 50 minutes? I think I I don't think I had any talent when I was born. I really don't. I think all of the things I've done has been very learned and experimented along the way. I didn't think I don't think I'm a born writer. I don't think I'm a born event host. In fact, I would be the furthest from anyone who you think is a host of an event because when I came to this country 8 years ago, I was so introverted. I was so shy and awkward and underconfident and reserved that it would be hard for me to even speak up in a group of 2 people. Um, so I come from a very closed off background in my life. So the reason I got to this place where I can actually confidently do these things now is pure experiment and failure and practice. So for anyone who's listening, who feels this sense of, I don't feel confident in my life to do this thing I really want to do, they should stay and listen because I really think I can share a lot of personal experiences there. And at the very least, make them feel like they can do it.
Yep. Uh, I'm sure this is going to be an inspiring story when we go through the chapters. Because, like, today, I think you have all the fancy gems that everyone wants, like Ivy League grad, like PM, ex PM from Salesforce, author, founder, and all these things, influencer. But it didn't start there, right? Today, people will listen to what you're going to write. So let's go back to the past. Chapter one,
Yeah.
past, the first post, or like first whatever the article, I don't know where you started, but why did you think of writing, and like where did you write?
The very first time I put something on the internet was
Hmm.
2014. I had a blog. I think the blog was called pujabalasubramani.com back then. I don't even remember.
Nice.
But I named it The Curious Maverick in the title, even back then, because I came across the word maverick when I was 14 or 15, and I just really loved the word. So, and I also knew I was a very curious person. So, yeah, that's really the reason I used the word curious maverick, but it's stuck since then.
Hmm.
Um, the very first article I posted was on the Higgs boson particle, physics.
Oh,
I used to read a lot of concepts in physics back then and astronomy.
okay.
So if you
Okay.
actually go to my earliest blogs, which I don't even think you can find anymore, it's all about finding water on Mars, the
Mm.
theory of general relativity, Higgs boson particles, Richard Feynman. I was so inspired by these people and topics that I used writing as a way to teach myself. I did not care about reaching anyone. I didn't care for it being read by thousands of people. I just wanted to teach myself something, and writing turned out to be a way to do that. So that was the very first time. The very first time I posted on social media,
Mm-hmm.
I think I've had a LinkedIn account since 2013, 14. But I don't think I really began posting until I came to the US, like properly posting. But even back then, the only times if you go to my timeline and see, I would post just milestones. I got into Columbia University. I got an internship at Salesforce. I got this award at Columbia. Just that. Or articles I publish. I used to write
Mm-hmm.
many articles on technology, products, psychology, and I would post these things on LinkedIn. The first time I remember a post going viral was in 2021 after I quit my job.
Oh,
I still
really?
remember I made a post saying I quit my job as a PM at Salesforce, and I did not expect it to go viral. But then 4 hours later, a friend of mine messages me saying, "Hey, congrats on quitting your job. I just saw your post." I was like, "Hey, thanks, man." And then I open LinkedIn and I see it's reached 500,000 people. And it was a bizarre feeling. Obviously, there's excitement, but it's also now you're opening yourself up to feedback, thoughts, opinions from people you don't know, right? So I think that was the first time I realized what is it like for something to go viral.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but honestly, Hari, the reason I even continue to post on social media is only because I'm an author. I know I'm going to write books. And for me,
Okay.
social media is a way to share about the books I'm writing and hopefully have some people care about and buy my copies and read it.
Okay.
I don't have any social media apps on my phone. I haven't had for 7 years.
Okay.
Um, I don't check the news feed when I log in, like it's all blocked. So if I want to, I might go to your profile and check to see what is Hari doing. But I don't scroll social media. I actually think people should reduce using it as much as possible. Like no one
Okay.
should be on social media for more than 10 minutes a day is my
Okay.
personal thought. And I
Okay.
would be happy if people listening to this like get away from LinkedIn and it's, yes. So the reason I'm doing it is only because I think it's one such tool to generate awareness for your actual work. I don't think social media posting itself is a job. I think it's just a feeder to your main calling and what you're trying to do.
I mean, I never expected that from you. That you tell that coming from a creator, like I think people will be surprised listening to that. Uh, so I don't say the one more surprising thing. I think you just like put that word, but I want to expand on that. So I thought you started writing articles, blogs, and stuff. That motivated you to become an author. Is that the other way around? Like you wanted to become an author, that's why you started practicing on blogs and LinkedIn?
No, I don't think I knew I wanted to become an author until 2019. 2019 was the very first time I remember thinking about a book, which never I didn't finish writing it, but I was thinking about this book idea. I actually had three book ideas in 2019. I started all of it, but I didn't finish any of it. I do want to address a comment from Inira, who says I'm practically living on LinkedIn. Haha. Okay, let me just say that there are times when even I've spent a lot of time on LinkedIn. For example, when I'm looking for a job, makes total sense. LinkedIn is a fantastic tool to reach out to people. Or I've spent tons of time on LinkedIn when I'm trying to promote an event that I'm doing, raise sponsorships. So I think it's not the act of being on social media that I think is disruptive for creative process. It is that mindless scrolling that people do without a clear time limit of what am I really getting out of this scrolling. We all scroll once in a while. I, for one, get into rabbit holes on Reddit for some reason. Sometimes I'll think about a topic and get into a rabbit hole there, or on sometimes on YouTube, but it's
Mm-hmm.
rare though. Um, so I just want to say it's not that it's the platforms are bad. I think they're designed in such a way that they want to suck your attention as much as possible, and and I think if you truly want to create something of value, you need to be able to step back from distractions. And it's not
Yeah.
just a book. I don't just
Mm-hmm.
mean if you want to write a book, if you want to create a podcast, if you want to create a course, a company, you need that deep work every single day. And social media is the opposite of deep work. Um, that's what I meant. So definitely
Okay.
not trying to put down anyone who's spending time on LinkedIn, just that make sure you're intentional about the usage.
So I have two questions. So is this your recent opinion, like about social media, or was this the case even like 3 years back, or when you were active on LinkedIn? Like even now you're active when you started on LinkedIn.
I'm active in the sense that if you notice, I'm active in that po- like I have an EA who helps me with the scheduling of posts, so I don't schedule and stuff.
Hmm.
I'm active in the sense that I log in once a day, maybe for 5 minutes, and I might check messages
Okay.
and a few comments on my post here and there. I might go to one profile of someone that I want to see what's happening, but that's really it. I
Okay.
think my opinion on this changed in 2019, 7 years ago, when I read Deep Work by Cal Newport.
Hmm.
I was pretty, I was like 22, 23 at this point, and I was very influenced by the words that Cal Newport wrote. And that's when I decided to delete all of it. And
Okay.
I haven't really changed my stance since then.
So as a creator, I have a question. If you are doing that, how do you understand the trend, or how do you understand what people want or other people are giving today?
Okay, one part of the answer is I don't. I don't
Hmm.
understand the trends. I don't check what's trending. I'm just really sharing whatever I want to share.
Hmm.
But I also used to. I've had periods where I worked with someone who helped me with those things. Someone who was more ingrained and would check the trends and come to me and be like, "Hey, these are some ideas I have for you. What do you think?"
Hmm. Hmm.
And I'd be like, okay, maybe some of it. Because if you notice, I have shared many trending topics and news items. Some of
Yep.
it comes to me organically through WhatsApp. So if
Hmm.
there's a major news in the tech world, in the immigration world, someone might just send me the WhatsApp message saying, hey, what do you think about this? But other times, the person I used to work with would just bring me the ideas on a weekly basis, and I might just check, do I want to talk about this? But I don't think I actually keep track of trends myself.
Okay. Okay. So I think that leads me to the next chapter, present, because like let's talk about the current situation more than the past.
Sure.
So we got an understanding of your motivation of why you started writing and where you wrote, how you wrote, what you wrote and stuff. So today I think the why was you started writing because um, you want to teach yourself. Why do you write today? Is it the same reason or something changed?
On which platform? Are you talking about on LinkedIn,
Hmm.
on blogs, on a book?
If there is a different answer for all three, I would like to know everything. Yeah.
There's definitely, I think, let's start with, like the lowest layer book.
Mm-hmm.
It's the core, right?
Yep.
Book is something that takes up 1,000+ hours of your time.
Mm-hmm.
It is so involving, at least for me. My books have taken, if not thousand, hundreds of hours, easily 500+ hours. It's not something that you do lightly. It's something that's going to take the life force out of you, suck it out of you. So I do it because I get possessed by an idea. Um, my first book was accidental, actually. I began writing something about studying abroad to help people, and then I just kept writing so much because I had so much to say. Unshackled was slightly different. I knew it was going to be a book,
Mm-hmm.
so it was more of an intentional book. Thousand Days of Love was inspired by Rajesh. I knew a month after I met Rajesh Sethi, who is my godfather and like a third parent to me. I knew that I'm going to write a book on him. I just knew it. It just took several years for me to start writing because I was working on Unshackled back then. So I couldn't
Mm-hmm.
leave that. So
Mm-hmm.
the book comes from a very deep place of wanting to going through an experience that was very personal for me and
Mm-hmm.
emotionally involving, and using that experience to share that to help other people who are going through a similar experience.
Okay.
So, for example, I wrote Unshackled for myself first and foremost because I went through a pretty frustrating and long experience with immigration. And I thought, how do I write about this in a way that's productive for people? And this was born. Thousand Days of Love. I'm writing it for a young woman, especially a young South Asian woman, who is lonely, who feels shy, who has these big dreams but doesn't have the voice or the resources to pursue them. And that's how I felt 5 years ago. So I'm kind of writing it for my younger self, but for other women as well. So
Mm-hmm.
that's the reason for book writing.
Okay.
One layer above could be articles, long articles and essays. I think that comes from a place of thinking about a topic for a few weeks and then coming up with some interesting ideas there. And now I'm like, oh, I need to solidify my thinking for my own sake. So let me write this and in the process help other people. So that comes from more like a, I want to understand this topic more. So it's a like selfish reason, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
The highest level of social media, which is also the easiest for me, like writing a LinkedIn post right now takes me 10 minutes. It's very fast because it's such a short thing, right? um, that I do it because I've seen a lot of positive rewards from it.
Okay.
Yes, there is a reward of reaching a lot of people, but I think that's actually the least meaningful reward. The most meaningful is when someone sends a message and says that last week I wrote about therapy. At least three
Mm-hmm.
people messaged me and said, you have convinced me to think about therapy and to
Okay.
maybe pursue. And so they asked me, can you share your therapist contact? I was like, hell yeah, happy to do that. So when I can change someone's perspective on something for the better,
Mm-hmm.
and help them, I don't know, become their best selves in a very abstract way,
Okay.
I get very happy through that. And
Mm-hmm.
also, social media posting helps me with my books and creating awareness for my other projects. So it's great for that.
Yep.
And it lets me meet interesting people.
Mm.
This is happening because you saw me on social media,
Yeah.
or I might have seen you there. That's why
Yeah.
we're talking right now.
Mm-hmm.
I've met some of my very good friends just because they might have messaged me through LinkedIn or Instagram. Um, so all of this, and also money. I have raised sponsorships and partnership income through for my events and such because I had a presence on social media.
Okay. So I think you kind of answered the title of this podcast, right? Like how writing can change your career. Uh, so can you give like maybe one or two specific examples of like stuff that happened to you for your career, only because you started writing on like LinkedIn or any other social media?
Absolutely. Let me think of two examples. Okay, let's take Unshackled first.
Mm-hmm.
I still remember August 9th, 2022. I made a post on LinkedIn that began as this: if you're an immigrant in the US, you should read this post, something like that. And then
Okay.
I talked about the fact that, hey, I'm thinking of co-writing a book with a lawyer on this topic. We'll be covering these kinds of things inside. If there is enough interest, if we gather 1,000 people's emails and interest in this, we will go forward with this. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I was just saying that, but I would have done it anyway, even if 100 people had submitted.
Mm-hmm.
And that post reached several 100,000 people. And that gave me the momentum
Mm.
to, because not just people, like people emailed me and messaged me saying how much they feel strongly about this topic. And so I saw this like market need almost.
Mm-hmm.
So then I was like, okay, it's worth it. Let's because back then I was writing another book on work life balance.
Oh,
I was not even interested in writing something on immigration. I just
okay.
wanted to test the market. So sometimes I do these things where I put something out there and see the response. But the response was so loud and positive that I was like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
I think I should really like lean into this. And that led me to creating a crowdfunding campaign where I raised $100,000 almost. I raised half through a grant that I received, and
Mm-hmm.
the other half came through crowdfunding.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it happened because of that LinkedIn post. I made a
Okay.
post, people
Mm-hmm.
resonated, and people changed my life by commenting on that post. I mean, they don't know it. If anyone who's listening to this commented on that, like, you've changed my life and you have no idea how much you've changed it.
Yeah, interesting. So you see that first LinkedIn post as like a start of a butterfly effect.
Absolutely. Another example, I'm trying to think of
Hmm.
how social media or writing online changed my life. Um, I will say recently I began posting in Tamil, my native language, and after several years, and I'm going to be quite vulnerable here in saying that I lost the joy of posting on online for a while. Especially like I think last year I just kind of lost the joy of what am I doing this? I didn't really know why I'm doing something. It just
Hmm.
felt like I'm doing it because I've been doing it for 2 years. But creating these stories in Tamil, or not just Tamil, I also share it in English plus Tamil, sharing it out there and receiving dozens of messages from people saying
Hmm.
how my video made them more kind to themselves or their parent. My videos
Congrats.
made them think about therapy. My videos made them rethink their mental health relationship with themselves and be more kind. This has shown me why I began creating content in the first place. And I'm making some drastic changes in my life, which I cannot talk about yet on this podcast. But let's just say it's only happening because of the joy that I'm receiving from creating these stories and putting it out there. So, yeah,
I,
let's just say, like, yeah.
no, no,
Also,
like now,
Hira says Tamil
yeah.
videos are great. Thank you.
Now that we have a fan watching this, I want to understand. I'm Tamil too, so like I watch those videos too. Uh,
Ah,
yeah. So like that's interesting. That's interesting because like you already have a following online, posting on English. Now that you have a lot of people following you from like all over the world, you started posting on Tamil, which is something again, it's surprise because we are going behind different set of audience or a subset of your existing audience, right? What made you to do that?
I'm not going behind anyone or anything, to be honest.
Okay, okay.
What I am trying to do here is okay, that's not fair. No, I am going behind something, but
Mm-hmm.
it's not an audience that I'm going behind.
Okay.
I want to publish Thousand Days of Love, my third book, sometime next year.
Mm-hmm.
Like it will come out sometime next year. And I want there to be 5,000 people, 10,000 people who care about this project that I've given my life to the last 2 years. Because I genuinely think this book has the power to change someone's life.
Mm-hmm.
And especially a woman. I'm specifically aiming for young women to read this. Young men can also read, no problem. But I'm just saying. So I was just thinking, like, okay, if it's coming out a year from now, I want people to perceive me as a novelist, as an author. And so that's why I began to share these like tidbits of insights and stories that I've collected over the last several years. Because I do think right now most people who know me think of me as the immigration person or the O1 expert.
Yep.
Um, it's fine. I mean, I'm grateful for anyone who knows or thinks about me. I just don't think that's me anymore. I just don't think Unshackled was one of my books. It'll always remain one of my book babies. But it's not going to be my last. I mean, I'm going to write like 10 more books probably in the next 10 years. I just don't want to box myself into this one category and not let people see the evolution that's happening in my mind as I'm evolving as a creator, a writer. So, hope that makes sense. Like the
Yeah.
motivation.
Yeah. And also, like, I think I had one question which I wanted to ask, like, when we started. So let me bring that back. I think this is like a very uh like interesting question that all the introverts will have. I'm an introvert too. You mentioned you're an introvert. You don't look like that today. I'm sure you might have heard that a lot. But the question is, I'm an introvert. So is introvert has anything to do, being an introvert has anything to do with being a creator online?
Oh, uh, I'm sure there's some correlation. I can see it. I
Okay.
have no idea of the metadata, or sorry, the data on this macro data,
Okay.
but
Just
I
personally.
can see it. Like when I started writing, yeah, I definitely think a part of me was trying to share these things out there, but I was too scared to maybe go out and speak on a stage about these things or go out and talk to people in a group.
Hmm.
I'm sure there's a correlation between introverts and authors. Because authors or
Hmm.
writers, I'm spending time mostly by myself. I don't know if you know this, but I lived on a farm for most of last year.
Yep.
Literally, I would wake up, walk outside, and there's just nature. And I would be by myself for the most of the day. Of course, I would talk on phone calls with many people,
Hmm.
but I was physically alone. And I was fine with it. I actually think I'm very comfortable being by myself,
Hmm.
which is a weakness too. But that's another topic for another day. But yeah, I think there's a correlation there that it's
Okay.
easier to, it's also a problem. And I hope, I'm curious what you think about this. I was listening to a podcast yesterday that talked about how um, some people think that vulnerability is you recording a video of yourself crying or going through a hard time, recording that and then posting it out there. And this podcaster like had a different view. He was like, that is not really vulnerability. True vulnerability is when you can send that to a friend or like be in front of a friend and open up and cry in front of them.
Hmm.
Or let's say someone, you hurt someone, instead of going online and sharing that, you send them a message or show up in person and say, I'm sorry for hurting you. Like that is real vulnerability, because
Hmm.
this feels easy to broadcast something you're going through to strangers versus actually going to the person who you want to share this to.
Hmm.
I have myself broadcasted some very vulnerable thoughts. I mean, even the therapy post I did recently, that was a pretty vulnerable post I made. I'm happy it was received well, but it was not an easy post for me. Um, so I just hope, and I'm very like, I also constantly think about this, like, don't try to use social media as a way to be vulnerable, and instead of doing the thing that is to go to the person you want to say something to and say it to them.
Hmm.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm also a little worried that some introverts may use social media as a channel for showing their vulnerability when really the real way you do it is to push yourself and do it in front of people.
Hmm. Yeah, interesting. And okay, so my perspective on this is the reason I asked, is there a correlation? Because people think there is a negative correlation, but I'm an introvert too. Like I've heard a lot of people, like my friends or like my colleagues, asking me, "Hey, Hari, you don't talk much in person. You are that reserved type, but you talk a lot on LinkedIn. You talk a lot on like these
Yeah.
podcasts and stuff." People have asked me before, so I always thought that people are thinking of this in a wrong way, right? Like it's true that since you can't talk, talking online is something that you do to share your thoughts. People have to share their thoughts some way. So I share my thoughts through my LinkedIn post or like podcasts, videos, and stuff, which I couldn't share in a group, like what you mentioned.
Why is that for you? Why what is stopping you from sharing in a group?
Uh, I just like I'm scared to do that, I guess. Like I'm just reserved or like what if people judge my opinion and stuff? All these things make me stop. I'm trying to change that. As you said, it's not positive. I know that. I'm trying to change that. But when I do that, so yeah.
No, I'm just saying, sorry, it's okay. It's okay. Keep going.
No, when I do that online, I think it's easier to find a similar set of people because algorithm helps you to do that. Sometimes also irrelevant folks where you get negative comments have gotten that, but you still get a lot of positive comments, like similar people who's gonna say, "Hey, I've been there. I've done this, done that." So I think that's why people get vulnerable to online. So the thing is, I still share the stuff that I'm being vulnerable of, like with my close circle. But I feel relieved when I do that on social media because I get that we always have that, right? The society is gonna judge you. Uh, we know that the close people are not gonna judge us, but we always think that society is gonna judge you for something. But when you share it online, your vulnerability, and you see similar set of folks coming and talking, "Hey, it's fine. You also go through this." You feel like the society is coming and telling you that you're not alone and we are together on this, that's when you come out of the vulnerability, I feel.
Very interesting. I have so many thoughts on this. Okay.
Hmm. Hmm.
It sounds
Yep.
like you're not I wouldn't be so hard on yourself because you're not doing this in lieu of the other thing. You're doing both. You're talking to your friends and you're sharing online,
Yep.
which, totally makes sense.
Hmm.
Kudos and good for you. And, Inira says the feeling of being judged.
Yep.
um, I realize as I meet more and more people from all walks of life, and I've met people from dozens of nationalities. I've lived with people from 10 different countries in the same house in SF. I've experienced so many flavors of human suffering, let's say, and human nature. The one thing I've seen across the board, regardless of if you're from India, China, Germany, if you're a millionaire, if you're not, people are so scared of being judged, and people just want to be loved and seen and heard. I think that unites all of us.
Yep.
Um, all of us just want that. We just want to be in a safe place around people who, when we speak, will listen to us. When we say something, will be curious and not judgmental. And even if we do a mistake, wouldn't abandon us.
Yep.
Fear of abandonment was a big thing, is still a big thing for me. It comes from childhood, long story there. But I think it took me a lot of therapy sessions to realize, I'm so scared of people leaving me, that that drives me to do things which are not very productive. For example,
Interesting.
I don't give feedback sometimes to people because I think if I give them this feedback, they're going to hate me and they're going to not like me and leave me. When in fact, it's never been the case. I mean, if someone leaves you because you give them constructive feedback, good for you. I don't think they deserve to be in your life, and I don't think you're the right fit for each other anyway. Um, so, sorry, I don't know why I went on this digression.
No, like
Sorry.
it's good. It's good. I think this podcast is turning into a therapy session.
I know, right? I love it. I was going to say
Yep.
one more thing that I've been having this thought lately. Okay, let me think how to say this in the right way. Especially with the Tamil content, it's made me realize I've been getting overwhelmingly positive feedback, so far at least, for the things I've been putting out there. And people have been very kind and loving. And I can see myself gravitating towards that in a way that's not very productive. Because when you start to see the society give you this validation, I'm worried that I'm now depending on the validation from this entity instead of having my own self validation, knowing what is right and what is wrong internally. Um, so I actually decided I'm going to block Facebook for a while. I'm not able to like block YouTube because I need to use YouTube for other things.
Yep.
But I'm trying to only check it sparingly, like once in a few days. Because the more I start to check in and look for the comments and see the messages coming in, I'm afraid that getting attached too much to this, the feedback that
Hmm.
I'm getting.
Hmm.
And and the problem with that is at some point we all get negative feedback. All of us. Any creator out there has gotten criticism, has gotten hate comments, negative feedback, and that hurts too much if you're attached to this. So I realized social media love and hate is kind of 2D love and hate. It's not 3D. The people who say that they love you, yes, I think they respect you for some things, they like you for some things, but they don't really love you because they don't know who you are. They don't know all of the insecurities you have, all the problems you have. They haven't seen you get angry, they haven't seen the dark side of you. So when they say they love you, they don't really love you. I think they love something that you said once. Same for the hate. When someone's leaving a hate comment, I hesitate to think that they actually hate the person. I think they hate something the person did or said. But if, let's say, you left a hate comment for me, and in that moment you did not like what I said at all, you completely disagreed. But then we meet in person and we're like, oh, actually, we're not that dissimilar. We have so many common shared topics we can talk about. Um, so I'm just, I'm trying to tell myself, like, don't get attached to the love or the hate. Like, love is good. Obviously, it's pleasant. It's nice to see that. Hate is unpleasant. It's terrible to see that. But neither of those things should define what your self-worth is and what value you have as a creator or a person. So yeah, I'm curious what you think about that.
Yeah, I agree. And sometimes I feel I've gotten both comments as well. I always felt like I like the hate comments because people who hate who put hate comments, I've seen that happen multiple times. A same person or a fake ID or something, they come and they post in like 3 times in a row or 4 times in a row. It makes me feel like someone is like, okay, even the biggest fan wouldn't do that for the four posts in a row. And the hater is following me and obsess over me. I try to see that in a positive way still. But sometimes and I always say this, like always, people who ask me when I like started posting, they didn't care. Now people ask me advice, how are you posting and stuff. I always think people don't care online. It hurts as well as that's a good thing as well because like people who are watching this podcast, I hope that you remember me 3 hours from now, but you might not, like, right? People who are watching this. I think we might remember each other because we both are talking, but who are watching this, they're consuming content. The next content comes after this and they move on. Uh, that hurts, but at the same time, people are not going to judge you. People are going to move on from that, whatever the post that you make. Uh, so that gives me comfort that I can come tomorrow and again post again or like say something that I want. So yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah, to what you said earlier, yes, I think the people who post these negative and hate comments definitely think about you a lot more, right? Because
yep.
they're thinking about you. And also, uh, Yuri said this to me. Yuri, who you also know, also a
Yep.
creator. When I asked him once, how do you deal with this? He was like, I give them kindness. Clearly, they're going through something. I mean, not all negative comments are really about you. Sometimes it's just because, oh, I remember this comment once actually. It's a good example. I had shared that I'm stepping back from like September of last year. I think I posted a video October saying, you know, I'm stepping back from Unshackled. I'm going to enter this new era of storytelling and focusing on other things. And I saw one or two people comment there saying that, you know, you, um, how do I say it? I forget the exact comment, but they said something like, I guess, you portrayed yourself as someone who cares about the immigrant community all these years. I guess now it's not that important anymore for you, something like that. I was like, okay. Obviously, it hurt a little bit because I do think I very much cared about the community and I've done a lot of work, but I get where they're coming from. Totally understand. So I responded very kindly and said, hey, you know what? I get where you're coming from, and I just want you to know I'm still going to be doing free webinars every month with a lawyer. If that helps, please join. I hope I can help through that, and wish you the best. This person messaged me in the next 10 minutes. They deleted their comment. And they messaged me saying, hey, I'm so sorry that I posted that. I didn't actually mean it. I was, I think I was just going through a bad moment and I posted that. I didn't actually mean it. I'm really appreciative of what you do. And that made me so happy. I was like, oh, well, that's kind of you. Thank you. It means a lot. So I actually think when we genuinely respond to, I'm not talking about the kind of hate where it's a troll who's just obviously just trolling,
Yep.
but the kind of hate where someone's bringing up criticism or some level of they have some resentment towards you because they're going through something, they're jealous, they're angry. If we respond to that with kindness, with human compassion, I actually have seen many instances where the other person also realizes that, oh, okay, I think I could have done it differently. And I also realize why people even leave negative comments on the internet. Once, Hari, once several months ago when the H1B 100K news came out, the 100,000 fee, I installed Instagram because I wanted to see what were other people talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I scrolled Instagram for like 15 minutes and then I was just like, fuck. Sorry. I'm sorry, I just cursed by mistake.
That's
I
fine.
was just like,
Yeah.
damn, this is so triggering. Scrolling through a newsfeed, and also back then everyone was talking about the 100K news in my feed. And then one post would be about the 100K, next would be about war happening somewhere in the world, next is about some cute video. And I couldn't take it. I uninstalled and I could feel that it's a very triggering experience to scroll news feeds, and it brings out the worst in people sometimes. It
Hmm.
would bring out the worst in me if I was doing that too.
Hmm.
So so it's like several layers. When someone leaves that negative comment, there's so much going on underneath that iceberg. And they could also truly bring out a criticism. Like, there are moments when I have shared the wrong data. I would have inaccurately said something in a post, and then they would bring that up. I'm like, you're absolutely right. I should go check changes right away. But I think it's very rarely about you or the person they're talking about.
Yep, yep, I agree. But yeah, I think I might be little unlucky in that area, I guess. I've gotten some people to actually hate me for no reason, but yeah, I can see that. I think most of the time it happens because of misunderstanding. They don't understand that post, or they don't understand like that series of posts, and they think you're telling something else. And if you clarify, it'll just change.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, at the end of the day, we're all gonna die. Who cares? We're
Yeah.
gonna die. I think we just focus on what we can do and the people who care about us. So,
On that positive note, we'll go to the next chapter, the future of what you are going to do. And also, like, I have few questions because we didn't touch the AI in the reality. So I want to understand, since we're talking about writing, today people think, I know it's out of context with the previous one, but I still want to go here. People still like thinking like writing became so easier because everything is an AI slob. Of AI can do whatever it wants. It can generate personality. It can generate like facts, opinions, and everything. So how do you see that? And since you've been writing even before AI, is anything changed with your writing because of AI?
to answer the last question, yeah, I use AI.
Hmm.
I use AI to brainstorm, to even write like first drafts. I always edit though. I never like what it writes at first. Um, how do I see it changing? I'm actually glad in a way because I think the AI slop that's out there is only going to amplify the people who write good content.
Mm.
I think the people will get fatigued. I'm sure they are already fatigued. Once again, I don't really scroll newsfeed, so I don't know what's happening. But if you do, it is fatiguing to read one after the other the same kind of format, rule of three, M dashes, and the kinds of words that AI keeps using in every post. And it's going to bring out the people who are truly insightful and who have something to say out there.
Yeah.
Um, but I don't think there's anything immoral in using AI to write your posts. It's not everyone's a born writer or a good writer.
Yeah.
I think AI has given people who are struggling. Let's take someone who doesn't even speak English fluently because it's not their native language. AI has helped them now improve their communication. That's great.
I agree.
Um,
Yeah.
and there are people who, like my godfather, Rajesh, it's hard for him to type because he has Parkinson's. And so it's easier for him to speak into an audio pen or a voice note and translate that into text. Amazing, right? You want more people to be able to use that. So I'm very happy for those use cases. And I think the AI slop, I hope it amplifies the good voices. That's all I can say.
Yeah, yeah. And I can resonate with that thing when you said like when I wrote my SOP for Columbia or any other university, uh, I was really bad uh, at writing and also English. So I didn't know. Like I wrote a first draft, was really bad, and what I did is I went to an SOP writer, like a professional writer, asked them to proofread and change it. The version that they gave was even bad. Grammatically it was great, like like the words that they used were great, the vocabulary was great, but I felt like that's not me, the what it wrote. right? So I started. I I just threw away. I spent some money on writing that. I just threw away the draft that they gave, and I wrote it myself. It was still bad. Columbia took me in. They didn't reject me with that SOP. But that's what I feel. Even with AI, I think the real voice is what is gonna preserve. I think some AI enthusiasts might come and say, I can clone your voice, right? Like I can go to all the Soundarya's posts and I can say I can
Yeah,
write like
you
Soundarya.
can.
But I think I still have an answer for that. The answer is I don't think even Soundarya can write like Soundarya because like people evolve over time, right? Like you, as you mentioned, you like to experiment. Like yesterday, write about immigration. Today, you're gonna write something different, little bit, right? That's why
Uh,
AI can't replicate us. Yeah.
Absolutely. Very true. The way I write, every single post is unique. It's very dependent on my mood. Um, I have to sadly leave soon because I have a webinar after this.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay. Hmm.
I want to maybe close with this amazing question from Inira, who's been
Hmm.
like patiently listening to the whole podcast.
Yep.
How do you follow up on posts or any content on different platforms without having it on your phone? Ever felt you'd miss out on important updates from people you want to be in touch with? I think there are like two different questions almost. How do you follow up on posts? Like I mentioned, I do log in once a day or once in 2 days into LinkedIn. These days, I'm also doing Facebook because my Tamil content is there, YouTube and stuff. And I check for like 5-10 minutes and respond to any comments that come up. But on the missing out part, that's a great question because social media, I like to think Facebook was initially invented just for friends to keep in touch with each other, just for me to know what are my friends up to. It wasn't meant for influencers and creators and all these other things that came up later.
True.
Um, to be honest, I actually do miss out on some updates from my friends who share it as Instagram stories. I don't really have the app, so I don't check the stories. I don't know what's happening. But I just think of it as people think there's a lot of FOMO in deleting an app. They're like, what if I fear of missing out on things? I actually think there is JOMO, joy of missing out.
Hmm.
I actually feel so much joy that I can miss out on all these things, which gives me all this time back that I can invest into calling a friend, messaging a friend on WhatsApp. I use WhatsApp a lot to talk to people, and just doing things that make me happy. So I want to hopefully like start promoting this JOMO more and more. It's not my
Yeah. Like,
term. Someone else wrote about it. I'm just using it.
okay. Yeah. That sounds fun actually when you put it out and when
Yeah.
you're experiencing it. Yep. And it feels like you're sometimes it's good to like untangle yourself from what's happening in the world or seeing what other people are following trend and stuff. Just go with it.
I would
I
say
started
all the
watching
time, not sometimes,
all the
all the
time.
time. Keep in
That's
touch with the
difficult.
news, sure, like subscribe to some newsletters, but otherwise, I don't think we need to know what's happening in the world all the time in every single
Hmm.
city of the planet. So,
Yep.
yeah,
So yeah, like on that note, I think we can end this since you want to leave. So it was great. I think I was expecting a master class on writing, but
I
I
know.
got a therapy session that was better, right? Uh, so yeah, like next steps, obviously. Maybe it's too soon to promote your book, but if you want to say something, why
Oh,
should people read the book?
yeah, they can visit my website, like my LinkedIn. The link
Mhm.
there, curiousmaverick.com/book or 1000daysoflove.com. Both of them lead them to the book page, and they can go just add their email and be an early reader of the book. That would be great. And thanks to anyone who watched all this way. Thanks to Inira for asking amazing questions and like being that teacher's pet who sits in the front of the class, raises their hands, and then is like, "Oh, I'm engaging with the teacher." It's everyone needs that. So
Yeah, I was that person, so I was happy to see
me too,
Inira
actually.
doing that.
I was also that person. So it's great to see that. Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
Soundarya.
This
No,
was
thank
fun.
you for your time. And finally, I'm super happy that I got this time and like made this podcast together. Looking forward to seeing whatever you do next online because I know you're going to keep us posted and
Thank you.
super grateful for this time. And Inira, Nandri, Vanakkam. And
Bye.
yep, see you. Thank you. Thank you, Soundarya. See you. Bye.